Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Final Show Films. I'm Sen, your executive producer, and I want to thank you all for tuning in. I particularly want to thank our $25 tier supporters over at our Patreon page at patreon.com/FSFilms. Those being Jeremy Alexander, Samantha Bates, Cat Waterflame, and L. Without whom we would do as much of the things we do now. So thank you very much for your support over the years. And those of you that are watching live, please sit back, relax, and enjoy. And we're live.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Stardust RPG on Trails of Stardust.
It took me a second to realize that was a soda bottle, Jeremy, and I thought you would had just like a big ass bottle of alcohol that you were pouring.
I mean, I do, but not this much. Jesus Christ!
I mean, I've had those days.
Same, but like.
All right, we interrupted Shawnee.
I am William Rashani, and I am your game master for this 5th edition science fantasy game. Joining me today, we have Jeremy.
Hi, I'm Jeremy. I'm playing Kendall Fairchild, a Latran warlock with a pseudo dragon now.
Yep. And Holly.
Hi, I'm Holly. I'm playing Mistle and Varn Rogue, who will be playing with and adopting Kindle's new dragon friend.
And Sen.
Kindle got a new familiar. Mistle got a new mount.
Yes.
Mounted one dragon. This will mount the other.
I'm Sen, and I'm playing Golton, the Orc Artificer, Gadgeteer, Master Maker.
Listen, there's been a lot of dragon mounting going on.
Master Maker, make me a master.
And Jack, the only one who is here right now.
Hi, I'm Jack, and I will be playing Surprise, an ethereal sorcerer.
You are not. You're not Jack the Younger. You are Jack the Last.
Jack the remaining.
There can be only one.
We are not joined this week by either Craig or Jack the Elder, due to various reasons, including, I believe, including a plague, I believe.
A plague on one of their houses.
But as always, Black Lives Matter, trans rights are human rights, eat the rich. Happy Envy Month, although it's almost over.
I'm envious of it being almost over.
And the stream is powered by Sirenscape. Eventually, when I figure out what song I want.
Will eventually be powered by Sirenscape.
Oh, October's Gluttony.
No, November.
November's
October's
Lust. October's Lust.
Oh,
October is best month.
Obviously, it's October.
Right.
But when last we left off, the group of the Dust Knights having made their way into the company of Furial Faust, the ancient black great worm, on his exoplanet, and having begun discussions on how best to acquire the Orb of Dragonkind, and with Kendall seeking other distractions with the dragon, managed to achieve a deal appropriate for the acquisition of the orb.
It's the most appropriate deal ever.
Through which Kendall acquired a new warlock patron, having switched their patron over to being provide their power provided by Faust rather than
and making
father.
Everybody else think she was dead.
For a moment at least.
I didn't make you think that. You just thought that.
Yeah, I didn't necessarily think she was dead. I just knew something was wrong.
Yeah, Mistel didn't think she was dead.
There we go.
There's good music. That'll do. And the task required in exchange for the gifting of the Orb of Dragonkind was a raid on a combination of temple and library and archive hidden somewhere near the galactic core, dedicated to the dragon god of chaos, Magnus, known as the Magnus Archives.
Nobody agreed to work there, and we'll be fine.
The
Now I have
group
to
was
agree to work there.
tasked. The group was tasked with infiltrating the Magnus Archives and retrieving the Book of the End.
The book of what?
The Book of the End.
Oh no. The references.
The thing is, there are
I see
many
no
things that I
problems
could be
here.
referencing there, and I'm not certain which one you're thinking of.
There's a whole episode about it.
Oh, in the Magnus Archives? I haven't seen it.
Oh my god.
I
I see
legitimately
no potential issues here.
only know most of what I know about the Magnus Archive through osmosis. I've never had the time to actually listen to it.
We'll definitely encounter no Eldritch Horror on this heist.
Didn't say that.
Again, I see nothing to be concerned about.
But the group now having been given the orb, are free to take their time to rest here if need be, or return to Wolkir to return to their ship at their leisure. I know that some people wanted to talk to some of the residents of this exoplanet at some point, including Coltarn had wanted to speak with Kai, the blood hunter, who
not really. Like that was just I would have liked to have done that at dinner, but it's not critical. More
considering we're down 2 of our players, I suspect this will be a significantly slower, perhaps more role-playing focused session.
I'm interested in all of the details that Faust will give us about this heist job he has us doing.
All right. What do you ask him?
I want to know everything he knows about the location, about the object that we're getting, about the way they may be storing or protecting it, all the heist stuff. Give me the Ocean's 11 rundown.
Very well. The Magnus Archive is a artificial station built within the heart of a dying star that is designed to uphold and archive the various writings and information that have been gathered, secreted, or otherwise acquired in the name of the dragon god Magnus over millennia. It is operated by dragonkin in service to the abyssal dragons, those dragons most associated with the entropy and chaos of the universe. How best to describe? The place itself is a combination of temple, fortress, and library. It's aside from being difficult to simply arrive at, being hidden within the heart of a star, it is also well protected by both magic's machinery and its denizens. Most who are granted entry must be servants of Magnus or otherwise high in his regard, which is a favor that is difficult to maintain, considering the dragon god himself is chaotic in nature, and his favor can be fleeting. The book itself, the Book of the End, is rumored to foretell the end of days and the events of chaos and apocalypse that have been predicted across the galaxy by a mad scholar enlightened by Magnus himself. It is said to not just predict the end of all reality, however many billions upon billions of years that may be in distant future, but also the ends of individual things, of people, of worlds, of empires. It is called the Book of the End because it tells of ends. And if one could acquire it and its maddening ramblings, one could theoretically predict the end of things and adjust accordingly. If they could process what is written within. It is not a book that is necessarily easy to read, considering it was written in a pen of madness by a Lord of Chaos-inspired individual.
So the only way to get to it is to be one of this god's favored worshippers?
That would be the simplest way.
Do you know of any other ways?
Well, should you find yourself with the ability to shield a ship well enough to tunnel through the surface of a star, you may be able to simply gain entrance that way. Additionally, there are magics that could see one transported within the Magnus archives, though they would require either significant power or knowledge. I am not possessed of the knowledge of a teleportation circle within the Magnus archives, but I do not doubt that one exists. Were you to find such a circle, or the arcane mathematical formulae for it, you theoretically would be able to enter the archives directly. And from there, you would need only deal with its inhabitants to find the book.
Have you ever been inside?
I have not.
Do you know anybody who has?
I can only provide so much information in that regard.
You don't know a lot about the inside.
No.
What do you know?
Mostly what I've told you.
Okay.
However, should you wish to know more,
I always want to know more.
you might be able to get information out of your precious Adventurers League and its leaders, Karos and Sonus. They know more than they let on. Each of them.
They let on that they know a lot, so I'm not sure they're particularly hiding how much they know.
Well, for one, each of them bears an icon of one of the twin dragon gods. Karos bears the icon of Sol, and Sonus bears the icon of Magnus.
That was Sonus and who?
Karos.
Garros.
Karros.
Have those been visible on them in the past and we just haven't commented on it?
I know someone has seen the icon of Sol on Karos before and not commented on it. You haven't really interacted that much with Sonus. He's not usually around.
Fair.
So I think they're the next guys to talk to.
Oh, we can speak with them as we drop off payment to the back at Gilgamesh station for the engine of the Akundala.
Cool.
Can we call you up if we have more questions later?
I can't guarantee that I'll be available, but yes, I can potentially field messages.
Cool. I think we're good for now.
Do I know anything about the Magnus Archives? Or about potentially tunneling through a star?
Roll me history or technology if you want to focus specifically on the mechanics of star tunneling.
As soon as Roll20 finishes reloading, I will make those rolls.
You know what? I'll give that a shot. You never know.
Or religion would also work, considering it's the Magnus Archive. So with a 17, Kendall, the thing that you recall is not anything particular about the Magnus Archives, but about the book, about something relating to the knowledge of the book that he's looking for. You recall from conversations with Janya, the Oracle, that fate is never really set in stone. It is a series of events and decisions that are made around it. So whatever this book is, this Book of the End, likely is a little bit more complicated than specifically what Faust is implying. Because Faust sort of implies that you could just predict specific ends. It's more likely that this book details a lot of the circumstances regarding things that threaten to end things.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
19 technology check.
With a 19 on that technology, harvesting from stars is relatively common. It's Stardust is literally the essence of most energy in the setting. It is a matter harvested from sun scoops that pull energy and matter off of stars. Theoretically, there are a couple of ways you could tunnel through a star. You could build an incredibly powerful shield that is designed to essentially turn your ship into a drill to punch through the surface of the star. That would require an incredible source of energy to be able to pull that off. Or you could harvest the star until it, and she's already mentioned that the star was dying. You could figure out a way to harvest enough energy off of the star that it dissipates. You would want to get a very specific reaction out of it because you run the risk if you try and harvest energy from a star of numerous different reactions, depending on how it reacts. You want to pull matter off of it rather than causing any other reaction, but
I mean, if we blow the star up, it'll be a lot easier to search the wreckage for the book.
yeah, you're not certain that even a supernova would kill something that was built inside of a star.
Oh, well, in that case, I know who to talk to. Did we know what star it is? I may have missed that part.
Oh, yeah. That seems like something I...
Do we know which star the archives are inside of?
I have coordinates. The star is unnamed. It is located near the galactic core, so you will be having Your first challenge will be navigating to it, if you wish to undertake the task.
If we have the coordinates, we can figure that part out. Actually, might know someone that can help us with this task.
Yeah. You could very well put to the test whether your father's name is Ernest.
I've no doubt that it is, though I have never asked. I imagine, though, that a facility built inside a star wouldn't likely be destroyed by it dying. So...
I leave the specifics of how you wish to enter the archive to you.
Well, it seems like we've got a lot of things that we need to do to prepare, so... we should probably rest and then leave in the morning.
Welcome to rest here if you so desire.
We were already in the middle of a long rest, and then we got interrupted by a warlock pact being broken.
Yep. So, you all get a long rest. Any other scenes or things that need to happen in the meantime?
I do start. So over the course of the long rest, I finished I finished compiling the finishing touches on my transmat deck, which is effectively a technological version of a bag of holding. So at some point, I will go to Surprise. Surprise, could you open the bag for me?
Ah,
And I'll stick my arm to the shoulder into Surprise's mouth.
surprise gargle.
That's extremely uncomfortable. And pull out the Orb of Dragonkind. And I'm going to put it onto the transmat deck. This is just so that we don't need to have people reach into your mouth every time we want to get this back out in order to
Well,
pass
why
it
do you
on.
want to get it back out?
Because it's payment for our engine, and then
Yeah,
hit a
you
couple,
don't need it.
hit a couple buttons on the transmat deck, and the orb just vanishes in sort of a sheen of light.
You stole my orb.
It's not. We were getting the orb as payment. Surprise.
Yeah,
It's
but
not-
until we paid, it was my orb.
well, This is also a safer place for it because anyone can stick their arm in your mouth and pull the orb out, whereas this
No,
requires
you can't. Anybody can stick their arm in your bed, but in order to stick your arm in my face, I have to agree to it.
This is actually
D&D. Anyone can stick their arm in your mouth.
Oh, that's what grapple checks are for. This is encrypted. No one can get anything out of this unless they know the code for it.
Yeah, this one's my face.
Yes. Oh, oh my god.
Spectacular.
Surprise. Have you ever been rendered unconscious before?
No, I can't say that I have.
Well, in the event that you ever are rendered unconscious, it would be a paltry task to stick someone's hand into the bag of holding that is your mouth without your consent.
Yeah, well, what about you?
If I'm unconscious, it would be literally impossible for them to acquire the passcode needed to get into this.
Well, then how are we going to pay the goblins?
By me not being unconscious when it's time to pay the goblins.
Seems sus, but okay.
Seems sus, but okay.
But yes, the
Words.
Mechanically,
Oh,
yes, the transmat deck is encrypted with a passcode. It requires a. It would require having the correct tools to hack it, and then a DC 18 intelligence data check to hack it, in order to get it to produce things without the password. And yeah, so it's like it's when it's not in use, it's sort of sort of attached around the non-battle fist arm, in a manner very similar to a Pit Boy from Fallout. And then when he goes to use it, he basically detaches it, sets it down, puts the thing on top of it, punches a couple buttons, and things disappear or teleport away or back to it. Now it's attached to his arm again. Alright. I guess just over comms. Does anyone need to talk to anyone here about anything before we leave?
Need to talk to you about stealing orbs from Wolf Rumble.
What? Anyway,
Only Kendall, but she's right here.
yeah, I'm right here.
Hi, Kendall.
Hi. No, I think I'm good. Real good.
All right. Well then, let's assemble at the teleportation circle, I guess.
All right.
We do that.
Do you need to?
Go on.
Oh, nothing. Mr. will just say to Kendall, "Do you need to say goodbye to Faust?"
I don't think so. I mean, I feel like, I'll talk. Like that's a Warlock patron thing. Like we'll chat. I think we're good.
Oh, okay.
Of note, he is heading back with you, considering he was there on a diplomatic visit of his own before he ran into the group of you.
We sort of distracted him.
When you say there, do you mean in the room currently? Because I would love to. Do I need to talk to you?
No, no, he's not in the room at the moment. No.
I just want the scene of Kendall going to stand up to walk out, and her legs still not quite working right.
I mean, we've had a long rest, so I feel like there's been enough time.
Yeah. You head out to the teleportation pad,
Yes.
and Faust and Gora are waiting there for the group of you. And as you approach and step onto the circle, and Faust sort of nods and brings a hand up, and the teleportation circle immediately begins to glow as he sort of just twists his hand in the air, and you can see arcane runes patterning themselves in front of his hand as he sort of swipes and chooses a destination, and the circle layers up, and you see reality sort of fractal and shatter in front of you, and you find yourself standing once more on the teleportation pad in the Wolf's Maw on Vokir.
Okay, that was cool.
Welcome back, he says, as he indicates to the rest of the place. Let me know if you need any further assistance before you leave, or even after, he says,
Okay.
nodding to Kendall. I will return to the diplomacy that I was here for.
Oh yeah, right. You were doing something here. Cool.
As he and Gora make their way out.
All right, do we need to do anything else from here now?
Nope. I think our next destination is back to Gilgamesh.
Okay.
To the ship.
Yep.
So,
The second we're in this ship, I am off in the direction because I'm just showing Bauhaus the entire ship.
well, that will take some time.
Pseudo Dragon chirps happily.
Yes.
Surprise! Would you
Yeah.
like to take the con?
Wait,
The controls.
you said the. Oh, okay. I thought you said the comms,
Con.
and I was like, "What do you want Surprise to communicate?"
To pilot
Yeah,
the
no,
ship.
sure. Where are we going?
I think we
I
just
believe
give-
the typical term there is helm, says Streeta.
I think we just give Surprise unfettered access to the comms and
I mean,
see
How
where it
about both?
from
Surprise
there.
already has unfettered access to the com.
I could make irresponsible choices.
By which mean the best choices.
Obviously. Back to the station.
To just here I go. I'm an engineer, not a pilot. And
Wait, am I the pilot now with
No,
among the
I
current crew?
Surprise is
Okay.
piloting. Yeah.
That's right.
Just trying to confirm where we're headed.
Yes, to Gilgamesh Station.
Yeah. Okay, then Surprise will take that way.
I will. Yeah. I forget. Is navigation an engineering thing, or is that also just a piloting role? We have a computer for it though, so I guess it's just.
As I pull up my content, 1 second.
It's completely irrelevant and entirely just for flavor. But I was gonna either leave the navigating to Surprise or do the navigating for Surprise. One of the two.
Running a dark matter engine. Da, 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 da.
Engine that runs on dark matter instead of Stardust. Oh, that is a concept.
Yeah, it is mostly just a piloting thing.
Yep. Right. So then I leave navigation in your capable hands. Surprise.
Surprise, go Gilgamesh.
Yeah. Assisted jump using a star chart. You have a star chart.
And then while we're in flight, I'm going to put in a call to Starbreaker Arms.
Yep.
Specifically, my dad.
Yeah. You hook into Galnet and reach out and put in a call for your father. And a moment later, the pale beard and face of Halvard Starbreaker come into view. Hey lad, what brings you calling out to me?
Oh, Father, I had a question for you. We've been contracted to retrieve an item of some importance from a location that seems to have been built inside the body of a star. And without access to a teleportation circle that would go to the location in question, we were left with determining a means of penetrating the star itself to get to the location. And I was wondering if you might have some insights into that.
Everyone thinks they're being fucking clever when they build their fortresses inside a fucking star. Alright, well.
His child distraction happens.
Yeah. The best way of penetrating the star. I mean, you could always just kill the star. Typically, whatever's inside will be fine afterwards. Just render it inert and let the stardust dissipate, and whatever's left behind is typically exposed. Which is a real problem, because usually you don't build defenses onto a star fortress like that. And once the star's gone, the fortress is usually just out in the open, completely blind.
Yes, I don't know how I would do that part, though.
I mean,
Ecological ramifications
dwarven
aside.
mining ship would be able to strip a star pretty clean. But other than that, starboarding pods are high class and difficult to come by, but they do exist. Stardiving is the kind of recreational sport that fucking idiots do.
So Kindle might know a few people then.
But idiots with a whole lot of money. The required materials to build something that can penetrate the surface of a star without melting are either heavily enchanted or extremely rare. You're most likely to be able to find stardiving equipment somewhere within the realms of the Medjocracy. If I were to guess, Argos.
Alright.
Either Argos or Ashador.
So look into star diving equipment and upgrades for the ship that might make use of that technology.
So if you were looking for a teleportation circle, the Sleeping Archive might also be useful.
Do I know what the Sleeping Archive is?
Roll me history or Arcana.
Archon. 26.
The Sleeping Archive is one of the three most popular and famous planets in the Medjocracy. The Sleeping Archive is a planetary-wide archive devoted to the study of magic and arcane information and historical studies of magic as it exists. It's called the Sleeping Archive because it is usually abandoned, air quotes. It is left empty most of the time, but its inhabitants are a sect of ethereals. It's called the Sleeping Archive because usually these ethereals are not always in their bodies, and so the archive has the appearance of sleeping when the ethereals are just in the astral plane around the planet, and the archive awakens when they all enter their bodies and begin activity as needed.
Sorry, where was the Sleeping Archive located?
In the Medjocracy, in fact, here.
Ah, there it is. All right. Thank you. I'll run this information by the crew and we'll figure out what we want to do as far as approach-wise. Yes, this is all very useful. Thank you very much, Father.
Glad to help out. Let me know if you need anything more.
Will do. We might come bring the ship by the forge. We have a new vessel, the Akundala, just to see if there's anything that we might be able to do as far as refitting the weaponry on it. But otherwise, we'll let you know if we need anything more.
Better enough.
And cut the communication, say goodbye, cut the communication, and then... And then, yeah, just open comms to Kendall, wherever Kendall is. Kendall, do you happen to know anyone that recreationally dives into stars for fun and profit, or boredom?
I feel like the answer to that is probably duh. But do I know somebody?
Oh, you almost certainly know somebody. Like I said, it's something that rich people who are stupid do. It's like contracting a submarine to take you looking at wrecks.
It also seems like a uniquely Fey thing to do as well, honestly. Like, let's dive directly into that star.
I mean, it kind of does. I mean, yeah, I know a couple. I'd probably have to. I don't know where they are right now because I've been away, and they could be back home It's not quite it's not quite party season right now, but they could still be home, or they could be in the middle of a dive, or they could be I don't know, anything really. But I can check around.
Yes.
Why?
I spoke with my father on the subject of penetrating the star that the archives are in, and star diving was one of the more readily accessible methods that was brought up. The
Oh.
others would be
Yeah, I guess.
contracting a dwarven mining vessel to deplete the star or blowing it up, but hitting it with a star diving vessel would be the easiest and fastest method if we could get our hands on one.
I mean, we could probably get our hands on one.
You recommended Argos if we weren't able to, if we didn't have any other contacts, as for a location to check.
Let me check and see who I can get a hold of. Yeah, I'll check around with some of my peeps, and I've never done it myself because mostly because my schedule didn't line up with it. I'm gonna be honest, that was the main reason. But yeah, I can ask around. In a bit, because I'm kind of busy at the moment, but you know.
Certainly. Also, we're still on the way to Gilgamesh, so there's plenty of time.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you. Click.
So
Also-
how many people do you think I know?
It's a very good question. How many people do you think you know who are stupid and have way too much money?
It's a lot of fucking people.
And how many people do you know who are stupid enough to dive into a star relying only on the quality of the thing they built to do it?
That's less, but not as many less as you might think.
Yeah.
Because it's rich people.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, I'm going to put that aside for the moment because I'm in the middle of something very important at the moment, which is showing Bauhaus all the places, and I'm actually going to find Mistel.
Oh, Mistel is with you.
Oh, Mistel, you're
She is playing with your
Okay.
dragon. Yeah.
Fantastic. Because
Yes.
we're gonna need you to tell us where all the small places to hide are.
Yes, I can show them.
Perfect.
What is the name of your dragon? I keep
Bauhaus.
Bauhaus. Okay. Yes, follow me. Follow me. She will jump on the dragon if it allows her to.
I don't see why not. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, she's riding it.
Awesome. I will let you guys go do that, and I will start being responsible and contacting people. Let me find some good, really bad names. Hold on. Or not even bad, just really punchable names. Punchable names.
That's what you're looking for.
Yeah, give me a couple to do that, because that's gonna take me. I need to find really punchable names. I already have two, but you know.
We could name them Elon and Mark and Bill.
No, punchable, not curb stompable.
Chad.
We already have a Chad.
Yeah, but
Chad's the guy that she summons.
This is Chad the Star Diver as opposed to Chad the Summon.
Chad definitely would star dive if he was smart enough to realize that was an option.
Chud. Chud instead of Chad.
No, I'm getting some.
I was
Somebody
gonna
else
go
do
with
something. It's
Chaz.
going to take me a minute.
Chaz, Chad, and
Chaz.
Chud.
I've got way worse. I have so many worse already.
Chaz.
So I'm going to narrow down a bit.
Just all of the people they're all named Cha something because their parents were very hopeful that they would have a high charisma score. There's Cha, Chob, Chad, Chach. Che.
Surely, if we keep trying.
Chaff.
Chip. You gotta have a chip in there.
But it's Chap first because it's
Chap and Chip.
it's just
There's
CHA.
twins.
It's just CHA
Oh,
and then
yes.
changing the last letter after that.
I think there would be an option to do this for it's around.
I don't think we have anything else to do until we get to Gilgamesh Station. So, actually, was there anything that we had? Was there any documentation that we had that we've picked up that we haven't been able to read? I don't think so, but
It's a very good question. I could not answer that for you.
I don't think there is. But if there was, I now have a universal translator as well that I can use. So. And that's embedded in my head. I can use it to read all. I can use it to read all. To read all writing and to understand all spoken language, and to have my spoken language understood by anything that has at least one language and can hear me.
Congratulations, you gave yourself a Babel fish.
Yes, I did. I gave myself a technological Babel fish. And it's AI powered.
Considering where you're going from to where you need to go.
Yeah, how long is it going to take us to get to Gilgamesh?
It's about 45,000 light years. And you have a class.
At what point are you planning on sharing our options with us that we could use to get to?
Yeah, I guess I would do that after probably later in the day, just to give people time to do whatever they need to do as we're just group meeting, go over information, and then share the various methods by which we could potentially insert into the library and including the mentioned silent sleeping archives. I feel like asked Kendall to check and see if
You're looking at about the 2 days and then into the third, unless you're spending spell slots for extra jumps.
I don't see why not spend spell slots for extra jumps. What else are we going to
You
spend
might
those
not
spell
be
slots
able to because of the class of your engine. You're running a class 6 engine at this point.
which means what?
I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, you're running a class 6 engine at this point. I don't remember if that's accurate.
I don't know.
But if it is accurate, it means you need a 6th level spell slot in order to pull an extra.
This is class 2, but that was what we were using before we upgraded. I don't remember what we upgraded to.
I believe you were looking for the same class the ship would normally have, which is class 6 engine.
Okay.
Which means it needs a 6th level spell slot.
What does that do to the speed, by the way?
What was that?
What does that do to the speed?
Oh, the impulse speed is 2,000 feet.
Okay. Stardust class 6. So yeah.
Right. Surprise has 2 takes on our options.
God dang it.
So first of all, if we're being sent to a god's personal temple to retrieve his personal dragon's hoard, in which there is a book called The End, that records the end of things. And our plan involves ending a star to retrieve a piece of a god dragon's hoard. I think that plan is doomed to fail. We need to end nothing on this heist. No one dies. Nothing is destroyed. We break nothing.
As I understand, the Book of the End records potentiality as far as apocalyptic events go, not necessarily specific endings. Because if it did,
You ever read it?
But if it did record the specific ending of everything that could possibly end, it would be useless because
Seems
the
to me
life
like
cycles.
ending a star is a pretty big thing.
The
and
life cycle of bacteria and individual human beings is so short that it would just be full of today Ted dies because he choked on a goldfish, and tomorrow Sarah dies because she choked on
that
Ted.
might seem like a lot to you, but this book belongs to a god. We not ending nothing. Veto. No star death. That said, I would very much like to go to a library full of ethereals. I think I could learn a lot there. But I think stupid rich people might also be a valid choice, as long as we can keep them alive, because, as I said previously,
This is a no-death heist. All right, understood. It's a roguelike. If we die, if anybody dies, it to start all over again.
All right, so I have the list. I'm gonna start running down them one at a time.
Bentley,
All right.
Bentley, Hilton, Neville, Guinevere.
Neville, Guinevere, Bradford, Wilmina, aka Willie, Megan with an H, and Megan with a Y.
oh, the two Megans. There has to be two Megans.
Yes. Fun story. They hate each other.
Of course they hate each other.
They're both dead, having sabotaged each other's star diving pods.
Roll me a persuasion check.
They hate each other in the friendly way, not in the
white girl socialite way.
Right, exactly. Persuasion, you said?
Yes.
17.
So you get down to Guinevere before you get to somebody who's actually available and says...
I mean, that's also fair.
And says, "Oh, darling, yes, I still have the star diver from my last trip down. Can you believe the kinds of things that you can see inside of a star? It's wonderful watching all of those reactions happening in real time."
Off to one side, it's just fire.
Don't you watch them in real time from outside the star?
You can't see anything inside it that you can't see outside it.
Yeah, but you see it differently.
You don't. Light is unidirectional.
Yeah, poor people can see it from the outside.
Exactly.
Right,
Rich
exactly.
People can see it from
That's
the
the key.
inside.
That is the key.
I can't get the joy of you if I know poor people can see it.
Look, this is the kind of person that stares at the light bulb, like trying to imagine what it's like inside the light bulb, when you can see through it because it's a light bulb.
So, like, can I borrow yours if you're not using it?
Of course, darling. I would consider it a personal favor to your family.
Awesome.
You will need to retrieve it, of course.
Of course, right, obviously. Where is it?
Oh, yes, it's on...
It's in the star. Well, fuck!
I left it there, teleported away.
Yes, you'll need to journey to my resort world over in Medjocracy.
Okay. No, that's doable. Absolutely.
We were headed that way anyway. I'm not listening. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Again, off to one side. Resort World. I was just an angry person, just off to one side every time someone Kendall knows says something rich.
I mean, okay, no, yeah, we can totally do
Probably
that. All right, we are going to where we're headed. I may be honest, I don't know where we're going right now, but we're going somewhere. But yeah, we'll head over there and we'll pick it up, and I'll make sure to get it back, obviously. But yeah, thanks. Any advice? I haven't really done it before.
Oh, don't worry. Well, you do have a pilot, yes?
Yeah. Oh, duh.
Of course, of course.
What do you think? I'm flying it myself?
Otherwise? Yes, of course. Well, let the pilot handle everything, and you should be good.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, they let
Yep.
you know to head. They let you know to head to Valenfirth, which is their resort world that they
Now
go
we
to
need to
for
find
summers.
a star diver pilot
Valen
and ask
first.
them how that works.
The prize will definitely tell you that they can do it.
Valen
no
first,
uncertain.
Yes,
like that.
yes, actually, exactly like that.
Yeah.
It's like Colin Firth, but spelled differently.
A little bit. But yeah, so I'll come find you guys. So good news. We've got it. I know where we can get a starving ship.
Good.
We just have to go to Valenfirth.
I know where Valenfirth is.
It's a fucking resort world. You have no fucking clue. Why would you know where
Yeah.
a place for rich people to go fuck off?
Where is Valenfirth?
It's in the Majocracy. It's a kind of a party planet.
Oh, good. We were headed to the Majocracy anyway.
Oh, cool.
The prize just executively decides that we're going to the library.
I mean, Coldharm will never turn down going to a library.
That is absolutely fair. No, it's a great place. I spent a summer there once.
It's a party world? I
Uh-huh.
thought those were cheap pop-up stores that happen on human planets.
I mean, and she very clearly stops herself from saying something. Like, maybe for some people.
What's in a party world?
I mean, it's a lot of there's beaches and there's a it's a whole lot of nightclubs and just fun things to do.
it was
Sounds like a great time. We
Yeah.
should definitely go.
the one that I'm familiar with is stocked mostly with very cheap party gifts for autumnal festivities.
That also sounds good. I like autumnal festivities, I think.
Spirit Halloween opens up. Opens up in the class in Bologna.
Before the star,
Fantastic.
it's replaced by a Spirit Halloween.
Now I want a roaming planet that just blinks into existence only every October. That's the Spirit Halloween planet.
Yes.
We come
100%.
from the Feywild every August. What's August? Who the fuck knows?
August is the time that the planet comes from the Feywild, obviously.
Idea and I want in.
What was that?
Katie said that it was a good idea and she wants in. fucking brilliant idea. Sorry.
this is the fun thing about Stardust. It's a fucking galaxy. You can build whatever the fuck you want. It's a science fantasy galaxy. Do
I
what
just
you
really
want with
like
it.
the most recent Magic Unset that takes place on a space carnival, like
Yeah.
or a space amusement park. I just love that, but Faye. So it just comes in every once a month or it comes in for 1 month on an arbitrary calendar. It exists for a month and then bamfs back into the Feywild.
Everybody knows what that month is, but doesn't know anything else from the calendar. They just know because that's when the thing shows up.
Well, I just like the idea of like being like you're in the middle of a hyperspace, like you're in the middle of a hyperspace route, or you're in the middle of a dark matter trip, or whatever, and then all of a sudden
boom,
you're like
You're
your
in the Halloween
your
store.
emergency brake kicks on because you're about to run into a planet that wasn't there before, and it's not just any planet; it's a fucking Halloween, it's a spirit Halloween planet.
Time to get your Halloween costume, bitches.
Like, what the fuck's a
Fantastic.
Halloween costume? Anyways, that was my brain.
I love it. That's the best thing to come out of your brain all week.
Maybe that's what we'll do. It's a short story. Stardust spinoff, Spirit Halloween. Anyways.
Not the Dust Knights.
Wow.
This story is about the trick-or-treaters.
But a couple of days pass, and you make your way to Gilgamesh Station.
Yeah.
All right, refuel, restock. Were we supposed to bring Tungashi back with us?
I feel like he's on the ship still.
Oh, he's on the ship.
I love the idea that we left him.
I thought he got off the ship and
Well,
like
the
went
idea
off.
that we
No, he never
secretly
left the
him.
ship.
Oh, he did, but he went around on his own and has definitely been on the ship by the time you left.
Gotcha. He
Okay, fair enough.
100% didn't check.
Because you went off the planet for a day. He's been places and done whatever he wanted.
Gotcha. Oh, there it is. This is a very large ship.
I love the idea that we've been flying for 3 days and you didn't know there was a whole ass person here.
It's a very
It's a
large
big ship. There's plenty of room for that.
I never go down to what is established as the guest cabins. We have maintenance droids to clean those. I don't have to go there.
Just Tungashi playing Careless Whisper the entire journey.
It's just faded into background music because I don't even recognize it anymore.
Still hasn't been able to sleep the whole time because it's constant Careless Whisper.
Hard light sax, Careless Whisper the whole time.
Oh, there you are.
Yes, good to see you.
Yes. Well, welcome back to Gilgamesh Station. Thank you for your help in whatever it was you were doing.
It was very important. You should thank him personally.
I just did.
I am always glad to provide my services.
I'm going to lean in as much as a tiny short surprise can lean in to whisper into Coltarn's ear.
You have to
and
like
say,
climb up him to whisper into his ear.
Yes, full on yes. You know he was in Kendallstone's tongue, right?
No.
Just do with that what you will.
I'm going to forget it.
Socially awkward half-orc. Tungashi has never worn a
not
shirt the
half-orc.
entire time that you've seen him, by
Full
the way.
orc. Not half orc. Full orc.
Full orc, yes. Full orc, yes. Gore is the half-orc.
I think at some point we just have to like lock them in the same room together and strip them naked.
And it's a lot less effort for Tungashi. Like I said, you have never seen him with a shirt on.
It's a lot more effort for Coltar, who wears a power armor suit everywhere. I'm going to go with Till to deliver the orb.
I'm coming. You stole that orb from me.
Okay.
I'm gonna stay with my new dragon friend.
I guess in that case, the heister got heisted and puts on sunglasses and walks away.
I'm just gonna chase after you, fussing the entire way.
You say that as you put on the sunglasses, and Tangashi, just for some reason, summons a hard light guitar and does a very particular riff.
There we go.
Sound of someone screaming, "Yeah!" in the background.
This is what we do when Till's not here.
That tracks.
So yeah, we'll go. And this has to be handled off screen because the only person that knows who the fuck we're giving this orb to is Till.
Oh, I know. It's the goblin dude.
Yes.
Surprise met the goblin dude.
Oh yeah.
Surprise got the bag of holding that they
Sewed into their face.
bastardized. What's it called? Desecrated.
Yeah.
Yes, you know where Vizax is. So you make your way to Vizax, and you return to his shop. As you enter, he sort of hovers down from the ceiling and just, good to see you again.
Hey,
Welcome
we're
back.
back.
What brings you back into my store?
I wanted to show off the new bag of holding.
Horrifying.
I know it's great.
I take it that you've completed your business.
Oh, obviously, easy peasy.
Hold up my arm, tap a few things on the attached transmat deck, and beam of light and the orb teleports into the room.
Excellent. Payment is returned in full. You are now free to continue keeping your engine as you will. It has been considered completely paid for.
Nice.
Pleasure doing business with you.
He sort of waves a hand and the orb hovers up towards him. This will be worthwhile in expanding the energy efficiency of the station and the trade as a whole.
Out of curiosity, do you happen to know of any engineers that specialize in star diving vessels, particularly the protections that they require in order to successfully dive into a star?
I can say that I am familiar with those who would perform such creations, but I would say that they would be even more expensive than the vessel that you are currently piloting.
Less wanting to have it applied and more wanting to have a already prepared vessel checked out to make sure the protections are intact. I'm unfamiliar with the technology myself, or I'd do the checking myself.
Ah, yes, of course. If you wish to bring a star diving vessel to me, I would be happy to have one of my appraisers assess it for quality and safety.
How much does that cost?
Assessments are free.
Nice.
Any adjustments that would be needed to be made to it, that might cost. If it is not up to stat.
You don't have any branch offices in the Majocracy, do you?
Oh, we have branch offices everywhere, but I can't vouch for any individual engineer's competencies outside of Gilgamesh, considering this is my center of operation.
Thought I'd ask. Good to know where to bring it, though. Thank you. All right. We leave.
You head out and return back to the ship. As you do, that'll be a good place for us to take our break.
Yeah. If you're watching live, please stay tuned for these commercial messages. And when we take our break, you take your break. So stand up, stretch your legs, move around, do whatever you need to do. And we'll be back in just a few minutes. we're back. A dinosaur story. Oh, camera's got moved around. Hang on. There. Okay.
That's probably my fault.
It's all right. It happens. All right, we're back.
Welcome back. So, as we return, what is up with your group?
What is up with our group?
I mean, I feel like we're flying through space.
Well, no, we landed and then we gave a thing
Oh,
to
yeah.
a goblin and then we talked to him for a little bit. And
I mean, to be
then-
fair, the station is also flying through space, but so is every planet.
That is
Really?
not.
we're always
Yeah, but
constantly
stations fly
flying
through
through
space
space.
in a different way than planets do.
We're relatively less flying through space than we were before now.
Yes.
We're no longer actively intentionally flying.
We are in a period of rest between specific flights
Right.
through space. Does anyone have anything? Do any of us have anything else we want to do while we're on Gilgamesh before heading off?
That's a good question. Is there anything that I need to pick up since I kind of reconfigured myself?
At some point, like it's not super important, but at some point, Mistel did want to have a little conversation with Kendall.
Okay. Oh, there was something. There definitely was something that I needed to pick up. Because we talked about
And does anybody want me to work on their weapons while we're here? Surprise would have learned that both Koltarn and Xander can modify weapons. Xander's modifications are specialized, whereas mine are general. But we can both basically improve the statistics of weapons in a variety of different ways. And on a space station is the perfect place to pick up the parts to do that if anyone wants their weapons improved.
Surprise has already misused this information once.
is there like a high-end knick-knack antique store kind of place?
Almost certainly.
All right. I doesn't need to be I don't need an involved scene or anything out of this. I just need to pick up a dragon statuette worth at least 500 gold pieces so I can summon dragon spirits.
Absolutely. You can definitely acquire that.
All right, cool. Oh, and also a diamond worth 50 gold so I can cast chromatic orb.
Easily done.
All right, cool. That's I mean, yeah. Let me subtract some things. 550 gold.
Do I have anything that I need to upgrade while I'm here? Did we ever have? I don't have because I don't have the. I don't have the exotic weapon proficiency yet, so I can't have Xander upgrade my battle fist
Right.
unless that's something that can be taught.
I mean, it can, but it takes a long time.
But with all the traveling around that we're going to be doing, how long
As
would
in,
it take?
it normally takes a stellar year to learn a whole weapon proficiency.
Okay. Actually,
It's the
question.
kind of thing you do on downtime.
Because part of my brain is mechanical.
Can you just neo yourself the knowledge?
Could I assume by spending some amount of gold on the programming, program a proficiency into my brain?
You know kung fu.
It would still take time to build the muscle memory. I'm not saying that you can't
Well, 'cause
do
that's it,
that,
'cause, like, I
but it
already
will only
have-
cut down the time rather than eliminate.
I already have martial weapon proficiency with the battle fist. And so, even though the battle fist is a simple weapon, I took the martial weapon proficiency in martial battle fists. So if I'm just trying, because exotic weapon proficiency gives you proficiency in like 4 weapons and armor. If I'm just looking to get the proficiency for the battle fist, would it take less time since I already have martial weapon proficiency in it?
Like I said, You can cut down the time with that, but you can't eliminate it entirely.
Okay. Worth a shot. Yeah. So in that case, do I have any weapons on me that I want to upgrade? The repeater. I guess I could upgrade the repeater that's in my arm. Just take the arm off, open it up, one-handed adjust the repeater.
Yeah.
Probably have manufacture a small robo arm to help me do it.
Or you could just take the gun out of your arm to adjust it and then put it back in.
I mean, I could also just give myself a regular prosthetic that I use while I'm working on my battle fist, because I'm a master maker and I can just do that over a long rest.
Yep.
I think I'll probably just do that. Have a non-battle fist, and then have the battle fist ready to go and swap them out as needed.
That tracks.
Yeah. So I guess I'm gonna look at some stuff and work on that if y'all want to have the scene with Kindle and Mistle.
Yeah.
Cool. So Kendall will probably be all over the ship at various points. She runs out, she gets her stuff, she comes. Actually, no, she's probably going to be in her room now that I think about it, because she's practicing new magic stuff.
Well, Mistle
And
has
bonding
adopted
with
her dragon.
Bauhaus. Yes.
Yeah, like if you're looking for Bauhaus, Mistle's with him.
Fair enough. Yeah, I feel like she'll be looking for him just because you gotta feed a dragon.
How to feed your dragon.
Yes, absolutely.
New movie. How to Train Your Dragon movies.
With I don't know, chunks of some kind of whatever food she picked up on the way back from some food court. Will eventually find you wherever you are then.
She is currently wrestling with Bauhaus,
Fair enough.
playfully.
You're right. Trying to murder. No.
And your dragon's dead.
Yeah. Summon.
He's alive again. He's dead. He's alive. He's dead. He's alive.
That reminds me of a tabletop, an in-person game I had where we had a warlock who's familiar with an imp, and we just used it for essentially bombing missions where they would fly out with glyphs, the exploding
a glyph of warding on them.
Yeah. Glyph of warding, and just pop down in front of the enemy, boom, blow up, and then summon it back up, hand it another scroll, send it out again. Anyway, sorry. And she walks up with the styrofoam from a food court thing. Oh hey, Bowser, I brought food. Set it down. You go insane eating.
Yeah, Bauhaus absolutely just leaps onto that and starts tearing it to shreds.
Hey, Kendall, could I talk to you?
Yeah, of course.
I don't. Okay, so ever since we were there a few days ago with Faust talking and stuff.
Right.
He mentioned this stuff about my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how to react to this. And I mean, I was thinking I don't know how to approach this, or I was thinking you were a good person to ask because your dad very obviously has secrets and stuff himself.
You're right.
And yeah,
So what did he say about your dad again?
Well, he knew my father's name,
Right. Which seems
and
weird because
he,
your family didn't leave where they were, right?
not to my knowledge, but I was so young when I was taken, so I don't know. I was away from them for most of my life,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know.
I
Um,
mean,
like he's never mentioned anything, but yeah, Faust knew his name, and then he said he wouldn't know his name if he wasn't important. And okay, I'm trying to remember. He said one other thing about him, I think. Do you remember what that is, Shawnee?
Uh, he said that he's not surprised that Runic, of all people, has a number of secrets.
Okay. Yes, that was it.
so do you think it's bad?
I don't know if it's bad. It's just
Oh yes, and he also suggested that if Runic didn't tell you things, it was likely to protect you.
okay. Yeah, yeah. Then that's what she's gonna say. Yeah, yeah. I feel like if he didn't tell me things, it was maybe with my best interest in mind.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I don't. I mean, I need to go back and see them at some point. I
Right.
don't know how to address this. And I know you're like the expert at dealing with fathers, or
No,
yours
it's
at least.
I wouldn't say expert, but yeah,
And I mean, you're pretty good at it.
I figured out a few tricks. I mean, well, I'll be honest, usually a lot of it is just ignore it and try and pretend it's not the case, to be honest. Um, but I mean, whatever it is, it's probably not as bad as, intergalactic crime lord, right?
No, probably not. I mean,
Probably not, right? So,
it's just,
are
I
you
don't know.
worried?
It's weird.
Are you worried that if you ask, he's gonna?
I don't, I don't really know my dad, so I don't know. Like, I don't know if he's gonna get angry. I don't know.
I mean, we have ways we can probably, huh? We probably have ways we can find out if you don't want to ask, right? Like,
If we could, yeah, we could try. I mean,
if,
I don't know.
if he's
We could
important, we're going
investigate.
to a. If he's important, we are going to a big library. Might be in there. Um, did he have? I know you did. You say you didn't really know him. Are there any like family friends that are weird or like people
All
that he meets
in
with and like he goes off for like let's go have a private conversation or anything like that because
any
that's
of
how
that
I started to figure it out.
any of that would have been when I was like a really little kid.
Right, so it wouldn't have been
Again,
so much a
kind of
concern.
kidnapped as a child situation there.
um
So I don't know.
Could always talk to him.
yeah, we've already
Yeah, I
dismissed
know.
that
I know.
option.
Dismissed out of hand.
Why would you talk? No, so I mean, I started like I started to kind of figure stuff out like almost just before I started to leave, just before I left. I didn't know at that point. It took me a little while. I had to put 1 and 1 and
How did you figure it out?
Till, honestly.
He gave you till and you figured it out?
No. Listen, I know that there's, you're supposed to be a little intimidated by your boss, but like,
Oh, yeah.
afraid for your life every time a name comes up.
I had to talk to Till about that because I was afraid your father was like threatening him with murder or something.
I don't.
Only implicitly.
Yeah, I don't. Not specifically. Just when you're. And I'll be honest, I still don't know exactly how big my dad's involvement in that kind of thing is, but I'm assuming really, really big because you start to put some things together and like if you're in charge of a whole crime thing and you also have this really legitimate, really like large and powerful and wealthy company, um you probably use the one for the other, and you start to think back and you start to remember how there was that guard who just stopped showing up to work one day, and after saying something that having a little faux pas, and what happened to them? Huh, I don't know. um so that's how I started to figure it out. It's gonna be because you don't have that whole growing up with them thing. It's gonna be a little bit harder for you to put that stuff together, I think, probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can research your dad. We can when we go back, talk to people who know him, maybe talk to him if that's something you're okay with.
Maybe. I mean, I'll
Um,
talk to him, but I don't know if I'll talk to him about this or not. We'll see.
can ask one of your siblings.
Yeah.
That's sort of a safer route to go
Possibly.
than directly asking him. That was also kind of a way that I figured it out. I have a lot of siblings.
How many do you have?
I don't know,
I thought 4 was a lot.
like it's in
Is it 3? I can't
it's
remember.
more than it's more than 15, but less than 100.
Okay.
Most of them aren't none of them are they're all half siblings.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Mine are all full siblings.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a
Okay.
lot. There's a whole lot. Anyways,
There was not one woman who had all of those kids.
no.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. But yeah,
Oh,
anything you need, I will obviously help.
did things go well with Faust?
Oh yeah, really, really well.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, I have a new,
Yeah. I kind of want your dragon.
I mean, look, you can hang out with him whenever.
Okay. Thank you.
Of course.
Yeah, we're besties now. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little curious. I'm not sure how that's gonna go if we go back home.
To your home?
Uh-huh.
Oh, because your dad's gonna be mad.
I don't know, mad, but
quick question, William.
Yes.
For an integrated weapon, if I'm modifying the grip, or the barrel, would it just be considered like, rather than an actual like marksman's grip, would it be like a marksman's adjustments to the targeting algorithms or something instead of just
It'd be adjusting how it slots into your arm essentially,
Okay,
and like
okay.
its positioning in your arm.
Gotcha, cool. I just wanted to check because I think I can't upgrade the grip, doesn't do anything because it's in my arm. The barrel is in my palm. I don't know.
You basically adjusting like grip and barrel would be adjusting its integration into your body.
Cool. Want to check.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how. It's gonna be fun. Like,
Okay, I can
But-
be with you if you like.
I mean, that would be cool. Honestly, I kind of hope he's pissed, but that's not that's a whole different thing. But yeah, no, we'll check out stuff on when we get to on your dad when we get to the library, see if there's anything there. I don't know what kind of library this is, but you know, maybe it'll have something. And I mean, we can. If Faust knows about him, bet my dad does too.
I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing if your father knows about him.
I'm not saying that he knows him and they work together, although they might. Who knows? I'm just saying if Faust knows him because he's an important person, seems to be the case, right?
Yeah.
My dad knows a lot of important people too. He might be able to tell us something.
Okay.
Maybe say that as a after the library if we can't find anything.
Mm-hmm.
Give it time for this whole switch to settle for him before we start asking things.
Right. Yeah. What is the relationship with you and Faust now?
I mean,
I don't understand how these things work. Like relationships in the first place, but like,
right.
are you together or is he just like,
I don't think no.
okay.
No.
Okay.
Not even Kendall is arrogant enough to claim that she is dating the dragon.
Fuck no. Listen. Kendall is naive about a lot of things. She is not stupid. That being said, it doesn't mean that like not trying to say how to say this. I guess it's more of like a boss thing with I don't know, extra benefits. I'm talking about the warlock powers. I'm not talking about the other part. Although maybe that too. I don't know. That wasn't really talked about. Like obviously, you know, I'm here kind of on our high with the heist thing working for, and then I've got more extra stuff, which is great because now I'd feel a little bit less tied down, I guess, with the way would be to put it. It's not great to owe your dad too much.
But you're okay owing Faust stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't.
It's sort of it's striking out on my own, like with what I was trying to do by moving away, not running,
Knew you were going. He gave you a till.
Right, exactly. Definitely not running. For anything. But still, like, when you get everything, like not only is he, my dad, and my trust is, all that kind of stuff, but also all of my magical power and all of that comes from there too. Like, I want to go out and do my own thing, and this is a good step towards that.
Oh, that's
And
understandable.
also, it might piss him off, and
And that's appealing?
a little bit.
Okay. I'm learning a lot, especially from you.
There's a brief moment of just the slightest, briefest instance of potential self-awareness of whether that's a good thing, and that is gone immediately after. Good. I'm glad I can help. Yeah, no, because like, I mean, I get this. Oh, we're doing this for your own good. I'm not telling you stuff for your own good, but also, like, I mean, my dad was fucking lying to me for a long time. So maybe he deserves a little bit of. It'll be fine. Totally fine.
Okay.
Anyway. So yeah. I will gather up the remnants of the styrofoam container. I gotta go throw this away, and I'm gonna try and work on. I've got a bunch of new things I need to try out and make sure I've got them figured out. So
I can watch Bauhaus for you.
I know. If you need anything, or I look at Bauhaus, if you need anything, I'm gonna be in my room.
Okay.
All right. Go dump the box, and then I'm heading to my room to practice with spells, because I have new ones I need to try.
So I've just remembered or / learned something about my exosuit, which is I think I can get around not having exotic proficiencies. Because if a weapon is integrated into my exosuit, I am considered proficient with it, even if I wouldn't normally be proficient with it. So
Yes.
that would include, I would assume that would include exotic weapons.
Yes.
And if it's a melee weapon, I use my intelligence instead of my strength or dexterity. So I might need to borrow some money from the treasury to have Xander make me a bitchin' sword. Because he has, what, journeyman level craftsman's stuff right now?
He is a level behind all of you.
So he's level 9.
Lead craftsman. He is the man of crafts. Yes, he can create up to journeyman level.
Because I think right now I have like an I at one point I had like an axe integrated into it, but I don't think I have it anymore. Yeah. So I might need to buy and then have him upgrade something cool. Did we determine? Did we determine if the two separate types of weapon modification could stack?
Theoretically,
Okay.
masterwork properties are things that only a craftsman can make. So
I mean, when you say do we actually have a group funds, or are you
yes,
saying?
we have group funds.
Okay.
We do.
I don't know.
indeed.
I've been using my own, so
I mean, if we don't want me to touch the group funds, I could borrow the money, but it's a lot of money. Actually, I'm already. That aside, while working on his arm, Coltarn realizes that he needs to buy a few more parts, and then reaches for his bag, and realizes that he has spent all of his gold. Opens the comm to the rest of the crew. Does anyone have 83 gold spare lying around I could borrow?
Yes.
I seem to have
let me check my. I mean, I probably dropped that much.
I seem to have spent the entirety of my
Right.
personal funds.
We have a Kindle.
I mean, I did just spend like 550 gold right now,
Yeah.
but that being said, I still have 1,731.
Yeah, I just for the modifications I'm doing to my repeater right now, it's 210 gold for the 210 gold for the modifications, and I only have 126. The monetary disparity between our party members is impressive.
Yes, it is.
Still doesn't spend a lot.
But I've given it a calibrated receiver, so whenever I crit with the embedded integrated repeater, I do an extra D4 on the critical hit of radiant damage because it does radiant damage. It's got a long barrel, which increases its range by its long range by 200 feet. Sharpshooter's grip, which means that long range doesn't impose disadvantage on attack rolls. Reflex sight gives it a +1 bonus to attack rolls made with that weapon, and then compensator, which reduces its magic range by 100. But it's still increased thanks to the long barrel, and gives it another +1 to attack roll. So it's got a +2 to attack, additional +2 to hit with it, which I need because I aim with my dexterity with it, and my dexterity is not great. And doesn't have disadvantage for shooting to long range.
Yeah, at some point, not long after that, there'll be a scratching at your door.
Door will open.
There's tiny shadow dragon with 83. What, it's 83 gold.
Yeah, 83.
83 gold in its cause.
Thank you. If I tell you thank you, does Kindle hear it? I say to the pseudo dragon in all earnesty, thinking it will respond to me in a language I can understand, because I can understand all languages.
I think.
I don't know if the pseudo dragons can talk or not.
No, they can't.
So
it just hisses at you and flies off.
give my thanks. And then he just calls Kindle directly. I have just realized that I don't know if thanking your pseudo dragon will pass along to you, so I'm thanking you directly.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.
I mean, yes, if I'm using his senses, but I wasn't at that point because I'm practicing summoning a dragon.
You can extend your senses through your familiar.
Yes.
Do you gain the senses it has, or do you use your own senses while looking through its?
It's a really good question. Because I'm checking because it's voice of Chainmaster, so I don't know if it's a little bit different. Blah 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 blah. Sorry, say what did you ask again?
He asked a stupid question. If you gained the sense the senses like dark vision, whatever, of the creature that you're looking of the familiar when you're looking through its eyes, or if you used your own senses but still looked through its eyes.
Oh no, I'm using his eyes, obviously, and his eyes have.
I was just curious if it was some sort of magical thing where you were like looking as if you were in the position of its eyes, so you're still using your eyes, but its positioning, or
I mean, duh.
I'm not a pure spellcaster, so it's very interesting to me.
You just hear it. You just hear like a, and then it clicks off.
Fair enough, he says to no one.
Bored now.
To be fair, the pseudo dragon understands Common and Draconic but cannot speak them.
Cannot
and
speak them, correct.
Does have limited telepathy and can magically communicate simple ideas, emotions, and images telepathically to any creature within 100 feet of it that can understand any language.
Yes, but it's also a goth mini dragon, and it didn't feel like being polite at that particular moment.
Entirely fair.
Yeah. It also has a sting that can put people to sleep. It's a low con save, but it is there.
Like, my impression is,
note to self:
Bauhaus is going to obviously get along great with Kendall, get along great with Mistel and Surprise because they have fairy energy, and is probably going to dislike everybody else.
Fair.
So yeah.
Shawnee, in Orcish, if you're giving a name, if you're naming something, if you're stringing together two nouns, which one goes after the first?
If you're stringing two nouns together, it's largely up to whatever sounds better.
Crookton. So I'm trying to name this. I'm trying to name my improved repeater, and actually Fashtarn. Yeah, Fashtarn, maybe. Or Fashkrok. Lightning gun. Except it's radiant damage. But I feel like that gets the point across.
Yes.
I guess, but now noun comes first, then it's adjective, right?
Yeah. 1 second.
So it would be Krokfash. It was a lightning gun.
Adjectives. Yeah, adjectives always go after the noun they're modifying.
So if I'm doing Kruk, which is gun, and then Fash, which is storm or lightning, then it would be Krukfash.
Yeah, if it's modifying a gun, if it's a gun that shoots lightning, it would be Krukfash.
Okay, Krukfash. My integrated repeater gun is now a Krukfash.
Dope.
But yes, if anyone else wants their weapons modified for relatively cheap, I can increase the damage die potentially of it. I can increase the long range of it if it's a gun. I could make it more easily concealable. I can make it have bonuses to attack rolls. So if anyone has a weapon that they use that they would like it improved, I can take a look at it and see what I can do. And then I also happen to be familiar with the craftsman stuff because I'm playing a craftsman in one of my other games, so I can also tell you what Xander can do. He has impressive things he can do with your weapons, but he can do less of them because it becomes an exotic after a certain point. But yeah. Does anyone else have anything to do before we leave Gilgamesh then?
I do not. I am in my room for the duration.
Right.
Unless anybody needs me, comes to me for something.
All right.
I've done everything I needed to do.
So before we leave, Coltarn will call a crew-wide meeting. So
like in-person meeting or
yeah, preferably in person, yes.
Okay. Fine.
In whatever like war room, boardroom, briefing room we have on the Akundalar. And when you get in there, you see that he's got he's got a bunch of information just like sort of splayed around on the desk, and he's making a few finishing touches to his arm as people are coming in. But what would be projected on the walls would be any sort of Shawnee, would I be able to find any sort of visual as regards to the Rising Winds of Haste or the Red Tide of Steel? Like what they looked like visually?
Yeah, they're orcish. Both of them. One, the Rising Winds of Haste was an orcish refugee transport.
Yeah.
And the Red Winds of Steel was a battleship. So between the two, the Rising Winds of Haste is still retains that sort of axe head shape that orc ships are known for, but is more wide than you would typically see of an orcish ship. Most orc ships are designed to be like wedge shaped for driving through enemy formations. This one was not meant for combat, but it still maintains that sort of aesthetic. So it's a lot broader, and still has weapons, but not as many, and is largely equipped for carrying passengers. It's a sort of large, painted yellow and white as sort of indicators of its mission as being sort of emergency transport and evac. And is shaped sort of like a triangle if you were to look at it from top down.
Okay. And then the Red Tide of Steel?
Yeah, the Red Tide of Steel is a battleship. It is very orcish traditional, sort of axe blade shape.
Like the Golden Axe here?
Kind of, yeah.
But bigger,
But a little bigger. A little bigger. Bigger guns, more weapons.
So the sort of like projections of those two are like on the wall, with the names both in Orcish and in Common. Once everybody's gathered. So I wanted to apologize, one, for being less helpful than I possibly could have been in a task that we were doing on Volkir. I, as a couple of you might learned, he stops, gathers himself. Let me start from the beginning. My father, Halvard Starbreaker, is a dwarf, and I'm an orc. Very obviously, I was adopted. My father found me in a escape pod when I was a child, 20 years ago. Drifting through space. No indication of where the escape pod had come from, no indication of if it had been going to a specific location or not. And he raised me as his son. And regardless of bloodlines, he is my father. However, when we arrived on Wulkir and I saw the information booth, I suddenly realized that there is an entire part of my personal history and cultural knowledge that I don't have for lack of my orcish parents. And consumed with a desire to learn, I went to the archives to find what I could, understanding that it's a long shot that I might find anything about vessels that went missing in the area where my escape pod was found 20 years ago.
Kendall is looking around, like, after all this time, she is just starting to realize exactly how many people in this group have daddy issues. It took her this long to figure it out because she just has had two back-to-back conversations about it.
You look in the corner, Jasira and Streeter are talking to each other. You think, oh yeah, them too.
Yep.
You think about Xander in the workstation room. Yep, him.
Yep.
Surprise isn't even considering that because daddy. but is a little bit baffled by the notion that you were not being helpful in the library because they were too busy doing shit to notice that you weren't.
In my investigation, I learned of two vessels, the Rising Wind of Haste and the Red Tide of Steel, indicated the two. These were both Walker ships that disappeared in the area around the time of a mining dispute on a planet in the Divide that had been colonized by Orcish citizenry from Wolkir, and slated to be mined by the dwarves of Khad Mogaran. Obviously, this caused conflict. The Rising Winds of Haste was evacuating colonists from the planet, and the Red Tide of Steel was going to sort of enforce the idea that you don't get to mine a planet while people are still living on it. Both vessels disappeared, with no record of what happened to their crews, and would have gone through the Void Gate, Gamerland, in order to get to and from Ulkir. It's a bit out of the way from our next destination, but I was hoping along the path to the Majocracy we might stop off at the Void Gate and see if we can find any information about the missing Orcish ships.
I have a question, an out of character question.
Mm-hmm.
What sort of stuff is at Void Gate? What do they actually look like? I know what they do, but that's it.
So void gates themselves have a variety of designs. They are giant circular gates that allow immediate transport across the galaxy to any other void gate. A number of them have been here since the time of the precursors, and a number of them have been built since then. But every void gate basically functions as you know how every major transport hub in the world has basically a small city around it. They function like that, where each void gate has like a space station built around it that is a place for travelers to stop, get supplies, also a place where people just live. It's a place where people of all walks of life and all planes of reality might exist in the same place peacefully, because each void gate is kept by the void keepers, who are basically the enforcers of peace on the void gates.
Like the
And they're independent of any other
PSA of
government.
Void Gates,
Kind of, yeah.
except essentially nicer because they're making sure everybody gets along.
Yeah,
instead of
their
making
job is
sure
to make sure that there
nobody
is
has
no
anything up their ass.
their job is to prevent conflict and resolve issues around the void gates. And they are independent of any government, and their sole purpose is a sacred order that is, and primarily run by Void Forged, which are the equivalent of Warforged, but they're built and are sentient around the void gates. That they exist to maintain peace around the void gate, so they can continue to be a travel hub that anyone can use. Yeah, they're a combination of like a small like star station city around a galactic transport hub.
Right.
I realize it's not mission critical or anything, but he holds up his hand. He holds up his hand, and that dark energy that that he uses whenever he casts a couple of his spells, sort of manifests as his hand turns into this sort of almost oozing purple void energy, temporarily before turning back. I would like to know what happened to them and what caused this, if it's related or not.
It's very
Totally.
important.
Surprise looks a little uncomfortable, but doesn't have anything to say.
Totally. Like, we're obviously like, we need to do this thing, but it's not it's not a time critical. Like, we still have to go. We still have to do the research at the library. We still have to go get the ship. Still have to do all this stuff. We can absolutely take. Yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Then I guess our next destination would be Voidgate, Gamerland. Am I saying that right?
It's
Johnny?
Gamalland.
Gamerland. 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 Voidgate, Gamerland.
Gee, why would you pronounce it that way?
I don't know. I would have pronounce it that way. Gay, Maland.
I mean, that does seem like the proper way to pronounce it. But yeah,
Surprise. Would you like to take the helm?
Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna insight check. Right. Which is something that I am definitely not awful at.
What do I roll against insight checks?
Either deception or persuasion, your choice.
And then if you are lying or not.
Hard to read.
Yeah.
Totally fine. Everything's good. All right.
Oh, the -1 insight against the +8 deception.
Oh yeah, no, it was a fuck chance.
Surprise shuffles off towards the.
I like how the result was almost double your result, but the actual roll on the die were only one apart.
Uh-huh.
I mean, the result was double the roll.
Yeah,
It was
literally
10
double.
to
Yeah.
20, yeah.
But you rolled an 11 and Jack rolled a
right,
12.
Yeah.
Listen, there are things Kendall is good at. Wisdom related stuff is not among them.
There's a very nice synergy, though, there. I do agree. It's like the
Yeah.
11, 12 becomes 10 and 20.
Yep. D&D.
So then, yeah.
And if everybody's ready, Surprise will take off and head that direction.
Fortunately, you have a void gate that you can leave, which cuts the travel time dramatically.
Void gate to void gate.
Because travel between void gates is instantaneous. It does not require the normal distance of jumps that free floating travel does.
There's no announcement upon arrival.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you are within one hop of Fornbjoth. So you hop to Fornbjoth and then
Park.
immediately take it through to Gemaland. And you emerge from Voidgate Gemaland, and you are now in
Time
the
to park
space
it.
around it. Yep, you find a docking station at the Void Station, and park the ship.
There's no announcement that we've docked, but Surprise does do the thing.
Yeah.
Y'all just have to catch on when you do.
I imagine, like, there's probably
There's at least a minor shudder through the
like
ship as it
docking.
finds a docking
Yeah,
station.
docking's not a subtle thing to do.
No.
Yeah, but it would normally come with.
Yeah, it would normally come with announcements, but you just all of you just get the indication you might be docking when the ship shudders as the docking clamps engage.
Cool.
Coltarn's not smart enough to pick up on subtle emotion, but he is smart to pick up on changing habits and routine.
Right.
And so he'll just calm Surprise. Surprise?
Hey,
Docking procedures finish?
yeah, we're here.
Is something the matter, Surprise?
I'm just gonna sit for a while.
Is it something you need to talk about?
I don't like to think about it.
Okay. If you need to talk to someone, I'm a call away.
Enjoy the library.
I don't know if there's a library here, but I'll find out. Where would I go to look for records on a void gate?
If you're looking for records of ships passing through, you probably want to talk to the Void Keepers.
So that's where I'm heading. I will see if anyone wants to come with me.
Yeah, I'll go with. Somebody
Okay.
should.
So then,
Wait, should someone stay with Surprise?
I mean, the entirety rest of the Dust Knights are staying with Surprise, I assume.
Okay, then let's go.
All of our NPCs, including our two-player characters that aren't here. Yeah, go to whatever void. I've already forgotten what their titles are. Void Keeper.
VSA. Void security agents.
Void Keepers.
The VSA Void Keepers. Go to their headquarters.
You had one in your party previously.
Look, I personally, the player, am bad with names.
I know what you're talking about. We had a cop.
And now we don't. See how that works. Actually, no, I guess Just Us is also kind of a cop.
A little bit.
Is he a cop or is he an investigator?
I mean, he was a cop. Now he's an investigator.
Yeah.
He got kicked off the force when the force dissolved because his guard, the person who's supposed to guard, died. And so now he's a PI out for revenge. Breaking all the rules. He's a loose cannon.
Yes, I definitely, when I think of justice, I think of a loose cannon.
Bees, though.
I mean, I also think of a loose cannon, but spelled CANON. So.
God damn it.
Anyways, we go to the Void Keeper's office.
Yep.
Yeah. Ysira joins you. Just because her home for a long time was a void station. Not this one, but was a void station.
Yeah.
So she walks alongside you. You may or may not be able to get too much out of them. They tend to be finicky about their records, but if you're looking for missing ships, they're more likely to be helpful than not.
And if all else fails, I'm sure there's a guild station. I'm sure there's an adventurers guild on the station as well.
Oh, there's an adventurers guild on every void gate they can get their hands on, which is most of them.
I've yet to find a settled world that doesn't have a guild on
That's technically incorrect because you found one and then you put an adventurers guild on it.
As I said. His statement is true because we are past the point where we're put a guild on it. But yeah, head up to the headquarters, see if I can talk to anybody.
So you make your way over to the headquarters, knock, are allowed in, and immediately as you enter, the person at the desk is a void forged. So the individual you're looking at is sort of metallic structure across their body, and their face is this sort of faintly humanoid facial structure with lack of nose. The jaw seems to be hinged only so far as it allows the lower jaw to dip and doesn't actually allow any kind of rotation. So their jaw opens sort of like a puppet where it just goes up and down. and their eyes are just these two like empty purple voids, as if looking into Gununga Gap, but not quite as scary as actually doing that.
Kind of hot.
They have sort of this articulated wire mesh that makes up something like hair on their head that sits to about mid-shoulder, and they are dressed in the sort of like heavy combat armor of a typical member of the Void Keepers as you enter. You notice that when they speak, their jaw like drops a degree, but it doesn't actually like move up and down when they talk. It just drops open and their voice comes out as the inside of their mouth glows slightly. And they look up. Welcome to a Void Keeper station. Can I assist you with anything?
Yes, we're looking for records of dating back 20 years of ship passage for vessels that were lost either before they arrived or after they left, although they definitely touched the Void Gate at least once before they disappeared.
Do you have designation records and points of origin?
He'll provide the information that he had for the names and flight paths to and from Volkir, where they would have hit both directions, basically, where they would have hit the Void Gate.
Mm-hmm. And he will go ahead and start pouring through records. We have records of both ships leaving the Void Gate, heading in the direction of, and he lists off a world name that I have forgotten, but the one that you were looking into.
Yeah, it was never given to me, or I'd give it to you.
But we have no record of their return.
So they were lost before they came back. Are there any, they may not exist anymore, but at the time, are there any records of natural phenomenon relating to Gununga Gap, between here and that planet?
There was, at the time, there was a dead zone that was rumored to be present somewhere in that vicinity around that time period. It does not appear to still be present, but...
Is there a estimated location of that zone?
There's a travel path, much as one would follow the eye of a storm.
Would that be something that I could receive a copy of?
Roll persuasion.
Could I get help from one of the charisma people in the room?
Yes. Can I assist?
I will roll it with advantage. $13.
He looks like he's about to probably object, and then Jasira just sort of leans forward and puts a hand on the outstretched hand of the Void Keeper, and you sense just like the faintest bit of magic pass between them. And she says, "Look, my friend here is looking for a bit of important history. If you could just do everything you could to try and help out." And the Void Keeper nods and just, yes, all right. Let me see what I can dig up. And he fiddles and fishes through the information and pulls up a star map. And he pulls up a record of this the passage of this dead zone, and sort of puts it onto a data slate and passes it off to you. I'd be careful though. Hunting dead zones is often a good way to find yourself in one.
We'll keep an eye out. Is there any Actually, what do I know about dead zones? Do I know if there's like a way to predict their appearance or anything like that?
Not really. They're just areas where magic and energy stop functioning. They're like roaming Bermuda triangles. Everything just shuts down in them.
Gotcha. There aren't any reports of a currently active one, are there?
Not in that vicinity.
We'll be careful. Thank you for the information.
All right, well, good luck. Hope you find what you're looking for.
As do I.
And with that, as you head out, that's where we're going to end for the week. And probably the next couple of months, as Holly and I will be heading off to rehearse for a play that we're going to be in. But we'll be back probably in December. But in the meantime, I believe the rest of you are going to be running something to keep everyone.
We're gonna have a short sub story basically happening between now and then. Not something that's expected to run overly long, but just to fill the gap. We'll have more information about that when we get closer. We might not have a stream explicitly next week, but if we do, it'll be a different game that'll run just for the duration of the show that Shawnee and Holly are in.
I would expect us to be back to this either second or third week of December, like full week.
Definitely by second week of December, I think.
The show itself is the first full week of December.
Yeah.
So, we'll be back with more Stardust in a couple months, and say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
I
Goodbye.